Hello everyone, welcome to our general science class. Today we are going to be learning about one of the most exciting and important part of science, the laboratory. We are covering Unit 1, Lesson 3, which is all about common laboratory equipment, use, safety and rules, and procedure in science laboratories. Before we dive in, let's look at what we are going to achieve today. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to identify different laboratory tools and demonstrate safe ways of using apparatus in the laboratory, and you'll practice precautionary measures in the laboratory and exhibit knowledge of laboratory safety rules and procedure. In short, you learn to be responsible and safe scientist in the lab. So let's proceed. What is laboratory equipment? So, what exactly is laboratory equipment? You know that? Think of it like this. A carpenter has a hammer and a saw. A doctor has stethoscopes and scientist has laboratory equipment. These are the special tools and instruments we use to conduct experiments in investigation. Every single piece of equipment has a specific job to do. So knowing your tools is not just about being smart. It is the very first step to staying safe in the lab. Understand? So let's start by looking at some of the most common items you will see in the lab. First, we have containers. These are used for holding mixing things. And the other tools in the lab is a beaker. It is a cylinder glass container, which we use it for holding or mixing or heating liquids. It is like a kitchen measuring cup, but for scientists. It is for scientists. So next we have Erlenmeyer flask. You can tell it apart by its cone shape and narrow neck. It is great for mixing and heating liquids because the narrow necks help prevent splash and spills. Finally, we have the test tube. These are small, thin glasses you might have seen in the lab. These tubes used for holding tiny amount of substance. They are perfect for doing small tests or experiments. So now let's look at tools that help us measure things accurately in science. Being precise is very important. So for this purpose, we have a graduate cylinder. It is a tall, narrow container with line on its side. We use this container to measure the volume of a liquid very accurately. For measuring mass or how much matter is on an object, we use triple beam balance. We were what we call it MESA. To measure temperature, we use a thermometer. And for measuring length or distance, we simply use a ruler or meter stick. The other essential tools in the lab, for example, for heating things, we often use Bunsen burner. It creates a very hot flame, but you should be careful on that when you're doing heating flame. Now, if something is hot, you should never touch it with your bare hands. That's why we have tongs to safely pick up hot equipment. So, to get a closer look at something tiny, we use a magnifying glass, sometimes called hand lens. So, to transfer a small amount of solid chemicals, we use spatula. And to transfer a small amount of liquid, we use dropper or pipe tip. pipettes. Pipettes. What is laboratory safety? Why is laboratory safety so important? This is the most critical part of our lesson. Why safety is in the lab is so important? Can you answer this question? Is there anyone can tell us how important it is, why it is important? Yes, because a science lab has many potential dangers. We work with chemicals, open flames, fragile glassware, and so forth. So, if you are not careful, we could hurt ourselves or others. So, we need to have safety. No. Following safety rule is not just about following orders. It's about protecting yourself, your classmate, and your teacher. That's why we need to have safety in the lab. Basic laboratory safety rules. Do you know what are they? Here are the golden rules of lab safety. Please memorize this. You have to memorize this. Number one, follow instruction. Always, and I mean always, listen to and follow your teacher's instruction. Never do an experiment without permission. This is rule number one. Number two, wear protective gear. When told to, you wear your safety goggles, lab coats, or apron, and gloves. This is protect your eyes, clothes, and skin. Number three, know safety equipment location. Do you know where the fire extinguisher, first aid kit, and eye wash station are? You should. In an emergency, every second counts. Number four, no eating or drinking. This is a big one. Never eat or drink or even taste anything in the lab. You are working with chemicals in the lab. That's why chemicals can be poisonous. Number five, handle with care. Be very careful with all equipment. Never touch or smell chemicals directly. To smell something, you gently fan the air toward your nose. Number six, tie back long hair and loose clothing. If you have long hair or loose sleeves, tie them back. You don't want them catching on fire or getting caught in equipment. Number seven, report accidents. If you have an accident, spill something or break glasses, tell your teacher immediately. Number eight, wash your hands. Always you should wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water after you finish an experiment. These seven are safety rules. You should follow all these rules. Now, okay, let's see what you have learned. I'm going to show you a picture of lab for describing scenarios. I want you to put your hand up and tell me what is wrong in the picture or what rules being broken. Tell to your friends or your neighbors or your brothers. Excellent. You already think like a safe science. Let's proceed. Let's summarize. Let's summarize what you have learned in this lesson. Let's quickly recap what we covered today. Today we have learned about a lot of new equipment like beakers, graduate cylinders, and Bunsen burners. But the most important thing we learned is how to use them safely. Remember, the lab is a place for discovery, but it is only fun and safe if we all follow the rules and act responsibly. Science is about exploring the world and you can't do that if you are not safe. That's all for today. If you have any question, you can discuss and put your any question or comment on the comment section. Thank you so much for your attention and participation, and see you in the next class. If this video helped you out, please give it a thumbs up and share with someone who needs it, and subscribe so you don't miss it the next lesson.